This is an overview of the WOM authentication strategy being used for the WOM MD website. Our focus is on the login.aspx form, this one here. The form will have to be changed considerably from the original WOM login.aspx, and it needs to look more like the one that can be found in the VMS web login.aspx. One of the things that we'll be adding is a new application variable in the web.config called DM flag, which stands for District Master Enabled Flag. It is a flag that will either have true or false on it, and when the DM flag is true, it's an indication that the authentication is going to be done by the county's District Master authentication. And in that case, the best place to find an example of the code is in the VMS website in the login.aspx.vb page. There's a very good chunk of code there to show how this authentication works for the countywide district master. If the DM flag in the web.config is set to false, that means we're bypassing the county's DM, which is kind of like bypassing SSO, and we'll be using the Microsoft standard membership role and profile authentication. Irregardless of which way the switch is set, true or false, both the paths lead back to the splash page and result in a new session variable being created called GSUserID. This is identical to the way we did it in DSA and NSA and other applications. It is the login ID of the user who comes in. Now, both of these authentication methods are new to this version of the WOM MD, and that's because the old system didn't use either one of those, and the old system hybrid method of doing authentication is being replaced with a new one. Because we're going to be running this site at both a staged server and a production server, we're going to need two versions of the web.config, and I would suggest starting with the VMS website's web.config, because it has a lot of the application variables that we're going to need for the application. Now, even though this is the WOM site, it just so happens that the VMS web is a little bit further ahead and has the information you need in it. So we're going to need two web.configs. One is web.config.stage, which is for the standard Microsoft MRP, and then the web.config.prod for the county level district master stuff. I know it says MRP here, but it really should say district master. One of the last things that we need to have is we need to change the master page for WOM so that we can use a single master page to do both the login page, which traditionally we've done with a no menu version of the master page. We want to reduce it so that we have a single master page. And the way to do that is to take a look at the master page that's in PWC SHT. And basically the way it works is the master page looks at the name of the page coming in, and when the name of the page coming into master page is login.aspx, it turns the visible property of the navigation control off, which results in a single line being displayed. This is a lot simpler than the method we've used in the past.